Well, first I'd like to kind of go back to the Brothers McMullen. If you guys have a favorite memory or, now after all this time, what kind of sticks with you, stayed with you the most through the years about that film?
Go, Eddie.
I mean, for me, it's like my life changed because of that film. It literally, I don't have a career without it. It was, it felt like an overnight success. Because we went to Sundance and it won the grand jury prize, and then we sold it, and then we were on our way. Um, but that was 4 years in the making between the writing of the script, and then it took us 8 months to shoot the film, another year to cut it, and then another year of getting rejected from every other film festival until we were accepted to Sundance. But my greatest takeaway was, I mean, because Connie's here, I got to tell a great story about Connie. During the auditioning process, I put an ad in Backstage magazine, said, non-SAG movie, no pay, we'll feed you lunch, and that was basically it. We got all, because we were shooting in New York, we got thousands of headshots, and I'm auditioning the part of Molly, and after like a couple of weeks, I'm like, oh man, I just like maybe this part stinks because no one, like, we can't find the right actress. It must be the writing. And then who shows up to audition? At my dad's office, if I remember correctly.
Dragging a suitcase behind
Yeah,
my
yeah.
back because I just come
And
back from my
Connie came in
sister's.
and she killed it. And I knew right there that she had to play the part.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and you like came and ran after me as I was leaving and said, "We wanted you to play the part." And I thought to myself, "Oh boy, this movie is really going to be bad." If they want to hire me right off the bat, we got problems.
But then here's the thing that happened, like, because none of us on that film, with the exception of one actor, had ever been in front of a camera before. None of us had any experience at all. Uh, when Connie showed up, it was evident to all of us who got to work with her that like she was the all-star. Like you just knew you had to up your game with Connie B. And that is a
Eddie,
fact.
come on.
It was.
Untrue,
Oh my
untrue.
gosh. Connie,
We were
what
all
was
just figuring it
the
out.
the audition and then the experience like for you?
Well, I mean, the experience was so much fun because there was never, it was just literally for the love of making a movie or even the opportunity to make a movie. Because as Eddie said, like I'd never made a movie before. We all were just in this place where we were trying to get like any little like film clip or something that we could maybe use to try to get a job or an agent. Um, but mostly it was really, we would meet whenever Eddie had film to shoot on. Or in the meantime, we would like meet at 10 o'clock at night and have rehearsals and, kind of bond and have a great time together. But one thing I really remember was because the film got into Sundance, which was such a crazy, unexpected turn of events. And so I remember we all crammed into this teeny tiny condo at Sundance, and I was sleeping on like the bottom bunk in a bunk bed with Eddie's brother Brian at the top bunk. And we were all just like and sleeping on the floor and whatever. And then they had the awards ceremony, and we were going to be in some kind of like overflow room. And I remember at the last second, do you remember this, Eddie? They instead of being in the overflow room, they were able to get us into the actual ceremony in the very, very back row of the
Yeah.
ceremony. So the whole thing, they were giving all the awards, and we thought maybe by some fluke would we ever get the audience award? And the audience award went by. We didn't get the audience award, and we weren't expecting anything from it. And then they announced the grand jury prize, and the movie won the grand jury prize of the Sundance Film Festival. And we were all sitting in that back row, and it was just like, oh my, in that moment, like our lives just completely changed. It was really crazy. I'll never forget that moment as long as I live. And yeah, that was for me as well. It was a life-changing experience.
Wow, that is so amazing to hear. And then now you guys are here, again, what, Ed, did you think, why was this kind of the right time to revisit this family?
Well, I've been thinking about revisiting the family for about 15 years.
Yeah.
I was saying before, I had just seen, it was 2014, 2015, Rick Linklater's After Midnight, the second sequel to Before Sunrise. And, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I should think about doing a sequel to McMullen, since Before Sunrise was at Sundance with us in '95. So I tried to crack a story, couldn't figure it out, wrote a prequel, didn't figure that one out either. I kind of put it aside. Years later, I read an article about 20 something kids who are, already in the workplace, but who are kind of being forced to move back in with their parents, just because of the cost of housing and, in order to save money. And I thought, oh, what if it's Barry's adult kids moving back in with him? Because that was kind of the premise for the first film, right? Me and Patrick, Barry and Patrick moved back in with Connie, Molly, and Jack. So I was like, oh, okay, there's something there. The other thing, and I remember, Connie spoke to you either just when I was first writing it or before I was writing it, just to be like, all right, Connie, like, if you are interested, I'm going to write a much bigger part for you, but that means I'm going to have to make you a widow so that you'll become the third brother in this case. Unfortunately, Connie was like, absolutely, I'm in. Wrote that script. It took us a couple of years to get it financed. The indie films are just kind of tricky, but 5 years later, fortunately, Warner Brothers and HBO Max said yes. And, we got to make the movie last year.